Okay, so today is March the 3rd. I'm going to go through the answers to this. It's not that I'm exactly working out each one. I'm going to kind of just go through the answers. This is the last study guide, today's study guide from Tuesday. The kids should have mostly finished it today, but, well, some people are not as working as hard as others. As for the front, here we go. On the front, basically, I found the outside yellow rectangle with an area of 300. I then found the middle parallelogram, and it was 78. Because it is a white in the middle style, that's the kind we subtract for a final area of 222 millimeters squared. Okay, number 2. On number 2, the outside parallelogram is 968. The inside rectangle is 91. When I subtract those, I get 877 inches squared. Okay, be careful. One of the answers on the test might be them adding them together. So remember, if it has the white middle and it's shaded on the outside, it is subtraction. Yes. Shh, raise your hand, please. Yes.
Wait, so white middle. That's just confusing.
If it is shaded out here and the middle is white, like a picture frame, these are the style you subtract.
Okay.
Yes.
So if the thing is if the shaded part is in the inside is adding.
Yes, kind of. Yes. If it's one big shape. Okay. On the next one, number 3. It is the shape of a parallelogram with the points where they're located at. And when you find the area, you are going to have to count across the base, which 6 and 7 together make a 13. And the height, just listen for a second. And the height is a 3 plus 7. It is how far apart those two lines are. So it is a 10. 13 times 10 gives you 130 units squared. And it is a parallelogram. Question now that is important to math. Uh-huh.
So on mine, I didn't do like you know how you did like down too. I just did both lines like across. I did the top and the bottom.
You can't. You might have gotten lucky and gotten 130, but it's supposed to be 10 going up and down. Guys, it's base times height. Use the formula. There's your base.
Yeah, when I did the top one, it wasn't 10. It was 8 and 5. Oh, now
No.
I see why.
Guys, when you are going across, I don't care if you go across the top or the bottom, it is 13. From dot to dot is 13.
And I just got 13 times 13.
And it's going up and down. That's the problem. It's not 13. It is a 10. Guys, the formulas tell you exactly what to do. Base times height. Yes?
I can't really see. Can I help to see?
Please. Yes. Number 4, the trapezoid. Even when I graphed this one, I kind of thought I was off a little bit because it looks weird. But a trapezoid has 2 bases that run like a railroad track. So, base 1, I made the green line, and it is 7. Base 2, I made the orange line, which is 11. Now, the height is how far apart those lines are. Straight apart. Not catty corner, but the yellow part. How far apart they are, which is 3. So I got an 18 times 3 divided by 2, which is the 54 divided by 2, which is 27 units squared. Hint, hint, as I looked at the test today, on the triangles and the trapezoids, one of the answer choices tomorrow for A, B, C, and D is like the 54, meaning you didn't divide it by 2. You forgot that step. Be careful. The easiest questions, I'm scared, are going to trick you just from not taking enough time to remember, oh yeah, that's when I got to divide by 2. Okay, on the next one.
Part of the problem with the bathroom.
Oh, not mine normally. Not mine normally. I'll let... Yes. Thank you. Okay, on the next two, we are talking ratio tables where you set up what, like I do it by usually what the order is. So they put quarts of water, and on the bottom I put the tablets. Doesn't matter as long as in the end you can tell me that it takes for 4 quarts of water, it takes 8 tablets of iodine. So it is like a cleaning chemical for water. So as long as you can tell me 4 to 8, and the 4 goes with the water and the 8 goes with the iodine, you are good. Okay. On number 6, this one's kind of weird, but we should be able to do this jump. You don't have to do it my way, but I took the, let's see, 1 second. Okay, I took the 160 books, and I knew to get a 4 over here would be divide by 40. So if I take 400 and divide by, 4,000 and divide by 40, I get 100. Kind of just playing with the numbers till I get it. I could have done how much is 1 book. That's fine. And then 1 times 4. It does not matter as long as you end up with the cost of 4 books being $100. You can stop now. Please be checking your paper. Okay, on the back. On the back, it is the area questions. Last chance of checking some area, checking some surface area, showing a blank copy real quick, and those things. So, here we go. On the back. The first one is, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Give me a second. Okay, this one is a rectangular prism. This top little box is 18, which is 6 times 3, with this other flap also being 18. This box, I got a 6 times 10 for a 60, with this box being 60. And these boxes were 3 times 10 to make 30. Adding all that up, I got 216 centimeters squared, and it is a rectangular prism. Yes?
I've got all of those right except for the final paper.
I think most of you, what you're doing, to be honest, is forgetting to add both 18s. Like, you should be able to add all these up, and 80, yeah, that's right, 216. Okay, that's why I draw on the boxes. I do like that tomorrow on the test, you get to draw on the test. We're not exactly looking at what you draw, but if you want to draw on it and fill in the little squares and stuff, that's good. That's fine. Okay, on the next one, many of you will choose the wrong answer tomorrow if you're not careful. A, B, C, or D answer choices. One of them says 64. Well, 64 is one box. And to figure out the whole thing, you got to do times 6. So the final surface area is 384 inches squared. And it is a cube. And it is like each box is 8 times 8, which is 64. I'm telling you right now, there's a tricker there, and one of the answers is like, what is that one little box? Okay, the next few, a little bit weird the way I've got my writings. I'll do my best to try to show it. Number 9 is a trapezoid with the final area of 56 centimeters squared. These were my bases, 12 and 4, so I added them, times 7 the height, divided by 2 to get 56 centimeters squared. Okay, number 10. This is the one they're going to try to trick you on because they've got the answer choices of 59 and 1/8. And then they've got the answer choice of 29 and 9/16. You've got to remember to divide by 2. On all triangles, you divide by 2. That's going to be what gets a few of you. And like, seriously, it is on, I know it's on there. I would look at the board, not across the room. It might help your grade a little, guys. Number 11 is another trapezoid. The area of the trapezoid is 62 millimeters squared. That one is 62 millimeters squared. And then number 12 is a boring parallelogram with the area of 99 inches squared. Okay. Any questions on those? Kind of good? Okay. And listen, I know you may not have finished it, so what I'm going to do is later put this out for you to check your work again. Like if you don't get it finished right now. Okay, these two they're not, it's kind of hard to show them. These are the rate and unit rates, or the rates where we need to compare and see if they're equal or not. So if 20 people attended out of 45, then for every one person, I get the 0.4 repeating. Kind of like they're saying it's a concert, so maybe this is a different concert. 12 attended out of 25. Well, that's a 0.48 for every one person. So no, the unit rates are different or are not the same. What you're wanting to do is tell me if the unit rates are the same or not. Okay?
Do we have to go on?
Yes, because you cannot, since these numbers do not have anything in common, you got to come down to what I'm going to call a common denominator. Okay? On the next one, it is, if 78 are correct, then it's 78 hundredths out of 1. If 39 out of 50 are correct, then it's 78 out of 100 again, so they're the same unit rate. It's just how I'm proving that they are equal. We have not checked the last ones. Please do not pack up yet. The last few, here we go. Number 15. Let's see. On 15, the triangle should be 120. The rectangle is 80. So a total of 200 centimeters. The top triangle is 80. The bottom little square looking area is 80, even though it's not a square, it's a rectangle. Adding it together, 160. And then 17. The triangles are 10.8, and there's 2 of them. The rectangles are 48, and there's 3 of them. Adding it up to get 165.6. And it's a triangular prism. Now, I am begging you to not pack up for just a second. I want to give you a quick refresher course. There is one thing that you had a test on last week that we did not, we haven't reviewed this week because you just took a test on it, which was decimal, percent, and fraction. I want to show you something that I feel like if you're willing to draw it on your paper, then you will probably get the right answer. Just watch. Do not pack up. Just give me a second. Okay, if you take a piece of paper and you make 3 columns. Whoops, I did that wrong. And you think about ABC order, like decimal to percent. And you make the last column fraction. If you will kind of think of the 50% thing that we've talked about, you know that percentages, 50% is what as a decimal? 0.5. Okay. So thinking about kind of like how you get from here to here, you bounced it twice to the left. Well, how would you get from here to here? Twice to the right to get to that. Now the last part is the fraction. And this is what usually kind of slows you guys down. Listen, I realize that it's extra work, but if the fraction, if you don't know this, what you can always do, change it to the percent. The percent is easy because you know any percent would be 50 over 100. Then you get your ABC button on your calculator and you can do this. So please look for just a second. Let's say you get one that looks like this. 0.07. Okay, what percent is it? 7. Okay. Now, here's the weird part. We may not even ask you for the percent. But who cares? If this chart helps you get the fraction, it took me 2 seconds to do that column. Now, the last part is a lot of you kind of freeze up when you get one like this. Meaning you're given the fraction, but you got to figure out how to go backwards. Just think of a fraction as division. 1 divided by 5. Think of that bar right there as division. So 1 divided by 5 is 0.2. So 0.2, is it your decimal or your percent? 0.2. The decimal. So you just gave me the decimal. Can I still make a percent if the teacher asks for it? Yeah. Bring it over twice. You got 20%. Listen, this is all I used to do when I was a kid. The teacher may not even ask me for the middle column, but if it didn't matter, if it helped me get the answer right, I just wrote it. So if that will help you tomorrow, I can't leave it on the board. I know it's on the board. But if that will help you, that's the only other thing that's on there. And there's 5 of these. So make sure you know it. Yeah. Yeah, you can use